It's time to go in depth with Power Rangers Wild Force. Now, for those of you who've been watching me for a while, I keep saying Power Rangers Wild Force makes me not like Power Rangers Wild Force. What I mean by that is basically where Power Rangers Wild Force actually hits the proper notes, like it actually gets right as being a Power Rangers series. It gets totally right, but where it's supposed to be right, the most important parts, it's just so off and wrong to the point it's very aggravating. And what I mean by that is, basically, the story and its characters hold Wild Force back a lot for me for being a good Power Rangers series. Power Rangers Wild Force for me is one of the most aesthetically pleasing Power Rangers series. And I'm more or less talking about the Zords and the suits. In my opinion, Power Rangers Wild Force have the best Power Ranger suits. It's predominantly their color, with the secondary color around, with some third color being white that's still like added, but not too much of it. And I just love the look of the Wild Zords. Granted, I'm not a fan of the CGI, just the design of the Zords and the Megazord combinations I'm a huge fan of. But where it just really starts to hurt is the story and its characters. The first half of Wild Force feels like a traditional Power Ranger series. You get introduced to the Rangers, why they're there or why they've been chosen, a backstory to the powers and why they're there, and somewhat backstory of the villain and the villains. But it's the second half that just really holds this series back for me. And for those of you wondering where the second half would be, and then there's others that know exactly what I'm talking about, it's basically the introduction of the characters Kite and Animus, and the reasons why they're supposed to be there. So for those of you who don't know, Animus is one of the warriors who fought back in the 3,000 Year War originally. He was destroyed by Master Org back then, but somehow came back and was reincarnated. And basically put the Rangers to a test to see if they were actually worthy of fighting for the Earth, to see if they were actually true of their mantra of never giving up. When granted, by this point in the series, the characters basically explain why they're there, and for a lot of them gave up their lives. Danny gave up a whole relationship to save the world, and Taylor basically became a missing person. So the fact you bring this test almost to the end of the series, and the Rangers more often than not have shown they're willing to save the Earth no matter what, and then you pull up with this crap. If you enjoy Wild Force, I am happy for you and more power to you. But because of this plot point here and subpar characters, just really hold Wild Force for being a really good Power Ranger series for me. Hold back, I mean.